Welcome, everybody. It's Stefan Rudolph coming back to you again from New Foundations Growth Group. And we're doing the 2020 Vision Quest today with another interview from a great coach and lady herself is Cherrise Boucher. We'd like to welcome you, Cherrise. How you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. We want to hear a lot about you and your business and how you're doing and helping others and their as far as your coaching and taking them to the next level. So tell our listeners out there a little bit about yourself and what your business is all about.
Yes, so I love promoting other people. So I'm a momentum strategy coach. I help women get those ideas and plans and thoughts that they've been thinking about but are staying in like this knot in their head, help them get that out onto paper, organized and strategized so it's easy to take the steps to do it, because a lot of people get stuck in that part of it. They've got the idea, they just don't know how to make it happen. So that's what I help them do, which is brilliant. I love it because I get excited when they have that, oh my God moment. Like,
yeah, the OMG moment, huh?
Yeah, it's great. And then also, I am the host of the Inspire View series, which is an interview series that I created a year and a half ago, which also really encourages inspiration and motivation. I interview women from all over the world to share their stories about how they followed their passion. Mm-hmm. And I love doing that because, oh my gosh, it's just brilliant. And I get inspired by them. So it might be a little guilty pleasure of mine to connect with women too, so that I get inspired. But the series has been great for me in making that network of friends all over the world. So maybe I'll get to travel and see them.
Yeah, you're doing what Tony Robbins taught me years ago, was go with your inspiration, go with your spirit, right? You know, we can make all this money in the corporate world or something that we need to do to pay the bills, but you are doing it out of your heart, and with it will come the growth in every area, right?
Right. And that's what I encourage, with my clients too, is those ideas that they have are awesome, but they're not going to benefit them financially, and they're not going to benefit the people who are searching for exactly what they have to offer if they stay here. That's no good up here.
Yeah.
So helping them to see that, yes, they can actually create something from their thoughts, like the good old Mike Dooley, one of my favorites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts create your reality. They can do that, and they can move into directions that they never thought possible before. And that's a whole other thing, is when our ego steps in and says, who are you to do this? Right? Who are you to do this? And you have to be aware that you're even having that thought so you can change that thought.
Mm-hmm. Awareness. Exactly.
I love awareness.
Yeah. And that's part of the New Foundations and what we do, and letting our listeners know and the readers and people that follow us, like you're exactly along the same path, where the awareness, we go throughout our life trying to get a college degree, trying to get a job, trying to get the white picket fence, the house, everything, and we get there, but we're not really aware of what's going on. We're not listening to our subconscious.
Right.
And ego, as it's called, Wayne Dyer calls it edging God out. There's a big part of it that kind of pushes everything out, and we try to get everything financially. And then when we get there, we're like, now what? Right? We're kind of and that's where you come in to help women, especially in that area.
Yeah.
What inspired you? Tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you into your business here.
Oh my gosh. That could be a really long story.
Okay.
That
2 minutes or less. Yeah, we've got 15 minutes, no problem.
The really short and sweet version of me going into coaching full time. I had been doing it on the side, but the short and sweet version was the universe kicked me in the butt and said, you're getting laid off now from your steady paycheck and the job you've had for over 9 years. And it was scary, very scary. And I applied for a couple other jobs. I really didn't want to go back into corporate world because I really wanted, like with all my being, wanted to have my own business.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get those jobs, and I'm not bragging, but I usually get jobs I interview for. So,
hey, I'm an expert at that. I was going to start my own business called resume business and interview business. I know what you mean.
yeah, so I took it as a definite sign that I should just do what my heart is telling me to do, and to follow what I'm passionate about, and to create the life that I want myself. Does it happen overnight? No. No, you don't go from 0 to 60 in, half a second. It doesn't happen. And I think that's another great thing for people to be aware of. It's everybody's got their own time, and we often compare ourselves to others who seem to have done that 0 to 60 in a half a second.
Mm-hmm.
But the important thing is to realize that no, they didn't. Nobody does. And to realize that we're all in our own time with our own path. So I'm 46, and I look at young women, in their 20s who are doing what I'm doing. And I'm like, if I'd only done this back then, right? But that wasn't my path. That wasn't my time. I was in a very different place at that time. So I think that's an important thing to be aware of again.
Yeah, exactly.
Your own timing is perfect timing. And you could be, my dad, for instance, is 70, and he's going to be taking a class to start a new career as a court mediator at 70 years old. So, it doesn't matter how old you are and where you are in your phase of life. If you have a passion for something and something keeps like tugging at you, that feeling that just keeps nagging you that you want to do something.
It's called your gut instinct as well.
Do it. Yeah, do it. Follow it. Explore it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Les Brown talks about too. He said for 15 years, he kept staying in the corporate world. He was stuck in his mind. His mind said he couldn't do it. And that's what we've all gone through. And that's what you help the women out there for, and to get unstuck, right? To get to the next level and take their life and their business to the next level. Do you have any example stories, or someone maybe you can tell us about, like what you've done for one person in particular?
Oh gosh, let's see. Try to pick a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so
because
many.
Sometimes like creating the balance, what I like to say is like we turn the imbalanced to I'm balanced. It's the same word, the impossible to I'm possible.
Yeah, I love that.
Impractical to I'm practical. That's part of my marketing strategy. And what you do is help with these women is maybe just tell our listeners about the step-by-step process, or what you would go through if someone came to you and said, hey, I'm stuck. Maybe it's a lady, she's doing well with a business, but she wants to take it to the next level. What would you be doing for them?
Yeah, I love that too. And I've worked with all different ends of the spectrum. People who are still trying to really nail down who their products or their services are for, to people who already have that, but just are like stuck in the house, or in the accountability part really helps to keep moving forward. But what we do initially is we have like a 90-minute brainstorm session where essentially all they have to do is talk, because I type out everything and I make it all, because I'm a very visual person. It's all outlined, and that's where the magic really happens, in the outline, which I was thinking back to when I dreaded those, middle school or something, when they start teaching you how to outline things and you're like, oh my God, why would I ever need this in life?
Something we've never done. Yeah, we hate that, especially as kids.
Yeah, like why would I ever, what purpose is this thing? Well, now I do it daily. So it's fantastic, because really two heads are better than one. So when you have somebody to bounce those ideas off of, they expand, and it becomes a bigger thing than you even thought, with even more offshoots and directions to go. So usually the one idea they come with ends up being a few ideas that will branch off.
Brainstorming and expanding, right?
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's great, because a lot of people work very differently. Some are very tactile, like to lay everything out. I'm very visual. I like the spatial element, so I like to see things in front of me. But a lot of people just like to talk, and their ideas expand through talking, which is fabulous with what I do because they can talk and I can type.
Yeah.
And then it all comes right down. Like I was telling you earlier, I've got my typing face on. So we capture everything that's in their heads, and then we go back through and prioritize everything. So we list out which step would you need to do first so that everything else will fall in line, because there's always one thing that's kind of the key point that you have to accomplish before the next things can come. And then we just break it down and start setting action steps and dates on calendars and deadlines to get it done. And that's when the momentum starts.
And tell us your website, how our listeners can get there.
Yeah, CherriseBoucher.com. Very easy. CherriseBoucher.com.
And I'll put a link on there too as well, because you guys, any of the listeners, check it out. I love the 90-minute chaos intervention session. Like under Work With Me, you have what you do as far as coach and momentum strategist. And that's a big point too, is they're at some point in life, wouldn't you say? And they just want to get to that next level of growth, right?
Yes. And I would hope, but I'm guilty of this too. You wait until that moment where you just can't stand it anymore. Like getting my hair cut. I put it off until you have that day where your hair just won't cooperate and you're just pissed and you want to go get it cut that day. And then, your hairstylist is busy, so you have to deal with it. But it's the same thing. People often wait until they're just in this state of overwhelm and they're not feeling good about their inaction. So, and there again comes in the awareness of knowing that you're in that place or that you're heading in that direction, so that you stop it.
Or there's something, there's something else out there. And it goes back to like Les Brown. I know I bring it up a lot, but he's awesome. And he says that, the way it used to be for our grandparents back in the 50s or 60s or even the 70s going in there, it was the corporate world. It was, I'm going to work here for 30 years. I'm going to do this and retire and live happily ever after. Now, especially with millennials and everybody seeing this, I went through a number of jobs, got laid off 3 times, and you've gone through the same thing where it's not working. The corporate American dream is not doing it. And more, like in your situation and mine and our listeners out there, the entrepreneurial way of doing your own thing, but doing what you have with passion, right?
Yeah.
Doing with your passion, with your heart. And that's how it looks like you, of course, inspire women that way and do an awesome job at it. So.
Thank you. And it improves your life, like on so many levels when you do something you're passionate about. Because when you're not, you find yourself in that icky place and just nothing seems to go right. But when you're doing something that lights you up, your relationships improve and stress is reduced and you're in the flow and everything seems to be going so much better. So it's really important. And it's not like you have to do what you're passionate about full time and quit your job and just, fly off to Hawaii and start a whole new life. That's
Some people do, but
some people do. That's bold. That's really bold. You can do it in small chunks, just explore. Some people, especially, I don't know how it is for dads because I'm not a dad, but I know women, we put ourselves last on the list of priorities and we put everybody ahead of us. And over time, you start to forget what you were even passionate about. Especially my children are teenagers now, and I've got one going off to college in a couple weeks. But I remember, when they were younger and they require so much of your time, and that's where everything goes, and you forget or you lose touch with what you were passionate about. So it's important to reconnect with that person, because there are things that we all love to do or that really get us excited, and we should enjoy those things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I already have a lead for you. I can think my cousin right now. She can use you in this transition point about this age time period, or really any time in life for any women of any age going through this. But there's always change, like 5 to 7 years, what they call the 7-year itch, right? In marriage. It's something that we go through, I believe, and every 5 to 7 years we go through changes in business and life, relationships. It's a big thing. One point I'd like to tell our listeners about is, you have a good point. If somebody's working with a coach already, a lady is working with somebody, it doesn't need to be just one, right? You help people working with others already, right?
Absolutely, yes. I say, you're not cheating on your coach. If
Yeah,
you work,
love that.
it doesn't have to be a dirty little secret.
I know. Tell your coach that even. Just say, hey, I'm seeing another coach.
Yeah, right. Be all open about it.
Yeah.
I work great in tandem with coaches. A lot of my clients have a business coach, but some of all coaches work differently. So and all people respond differently. So you're like all fired up on your call with your coach, right? And you're like, hell yeah, I got this whole list of stuff. I'm ready to go. And then you get off the call and you're like, I don't know how to do this. Right? You're like, I don't know the steps. And that's when that brain fog sets in and overwhelm, or like me, like if I get too overwhelmed, I just ignore it. So I don't stress out about it. I'm not feeling like this massive crush of overwhelm. I'm just avoiding the whole thing altogether so that I don't experience it.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. If you're in it, if you're not taking action.
Yeah, exactly. That's where that momentum coach comes in, because I've done this at seminars and events. We get so much information. We get overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
We're very fired up. And then a day, 2 days, 3 days later, like, I haven't done anything. And then you start getting down and depressed. You're like, oh my God, it was all a waste. So
Right.
you're helping them stabilize in step-by-step process. Because if I want to make $1 million, for example, but then I'm at zero, and how do I get there? And it's just too much.
Right.
Step by step, how do I make 50,000, 100,000?
Exactly. Yeah. You have to break it down. And then the consistency of taking action is what really gets you going. It becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helps to have a coach that can help you with that accountability part so that you do stay on track. All coaches have coaches. So it's not like we all flying around do that. I don't know too many coaches that don't have
Tony Robbins taught us that. It's like even Tony Robbins has a coach, and but it goes into the top coach. Well, he needs coaches. You need to be open, right?
Right. And you get new ideas, and you get aha moments, and it's someone to talk to, if you're in a stuck moment too. So it's really, if you want to move forward, you need somebody in your corner,
And is there an ideal client, a lady that in particular, is she at a certain age group or level? Is it all ages, all parts of life, or what?
I've been finding it's mostly that I've been working with women in their mid-30s to mid-50s-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But not really. I mean, I don't label my ideal client, I guess. It's anybody who's at that right stage where they're ready to take action and make a change.
And that's perfect, because of this, when the millennials are coming out of college now, and they're like, now what? Now they have this degree, and here's the biggest issue I see is the student loans. Yeah, it's huge. Back in our day, it was $10,000 was a big student loan, maybe 20, but now it's 50, 60, 70.
Yeah.
These payments start right away. Within 6 months, they're paying $500, $600 a month. So they're like, now what? They're at this level, like they need help from you, right?
Yeah. And it's great to put those ideas, I work really primarily with entrepreneurs. It's all about, we all have gifts. And it's identifying them. We don't necessarily think what we're good at is a gift, or we don't even recognize what we're good at. Yeah. I struggled with that too. Other people that will tell you what you're good at, and you'll be like anybody can do that. So that first thought that you have, anybody can do that, that's your gift, because not everybody can do that. I think that everybody can do what I do, but my clients tell me all the time, no, Cherrise, if I could do this on my own, I wouldn't be with you.
I know. We kind of put ourselves down, and that's another area you probably help with too. It's like, oh, that's not good enough. Everybody can do that. It's like, no, actually they can.
Right.
90% won't even take the first step to go into their own business. So that's where you're helping women out here is with confidence too, right?
Yeah, because we can do it. We've all started at ground zero. Everybody out there, no matter how big they are right now, they all started at the beginning.
Started from the bottom, now they're here, right?
Yeah, it's just important that every single person has the same doubts and fears. And I think that's comforting to know, that no matter how successful they are, when you talk to them in a different environment, or you hear, if they're really being honest, which I love when they are, and being very authentic, it's the same struggles for everybody. And it doesn't even matter how successful you are, they still have those same doubts and
headlights, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it's good to know that you're in good company.
Yeah, exactly. You're in good hands, so to speak.
Yeah.
So give our listeners your contact information once again.
Yes, you can find me at CherriseBoucher.com, and you can find me on Facebook at Cherrise D. Boucher. Email me, Cherrise@CherriseBoucher.com. I think my name is the hardest part to.
It's very audio. It stands out. But then, Cherrise, how do I spell that? Right?
How do I spell
we'll have this. The main thing, this will be on Facebook and also the New Foundations Growth Group website, which is clickforgrowth.com. And there's videos on there every week. And I'd like to bring you back to in a couple of weeks and keep up with you and have you updating us on new clients and what you're doing. And that's the domain name Click for Growth, and I came up with that a few years ago, and helping people just one click away to take their life to the next level with coaches like yourself.
Yeah, that's a great service.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I appreciate it, Cherrise, and we'll keep on growing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care.